Yeah, it's true. I am the oldest guy in Google in London, and I'm very proud of it. But, of course, being old, you know, I do lose things. So I had to staple this down to my computer so that I wouldn't lose it. I've got to turn it on now and open it up. Isn't this amazing, by the way? I mean, isn't it fantastic to be here? You know, here in Dublin and here in this incredible building. You know, I'm a Googler, but every time I get into this place, I'm just going, woo. You know, of course, I can see all the other Googlers looking at me. It's so uncool, really. But actually, that's, I think, part of my brand value. What I bring to Google is that I am really, really uncool. And being uncool allows me to kind of look at things slightly differently. And so what I'm going to do today, with your permission, is I am going to, oh my goodness me, we have a real problem here. The enemy have infiltrated my computer. I'm not joking. Microsoft have taken over my computer. And they have completely knackered it. I have a little badge here saying, installing Microsoft Office. We know you're about to talk to all these brand people, and we are going to really screw you up. And they're doing it. The little baskets. Anyway, so I'm just going to have to, talk for a while Microsoft do their evil work. But I wanted to talk to you about the journey I've made from being advertising lovey to a real digital enthusiast today. And what I wanted to share with you is that, personally, I am absolutely convinced that this is the most fantastically exciting time to be in our business today. And over the next kind of 26 hours, I hope that the rest of the team will get you as excited as I am by the opportunities I've been given. Now, I do probably need to work out whether I keep going or whether this is kind of beyond hope. What do you think, guys? What do you think? What? Press stop. I sometimes tell people in Google, I mean, being the oldest guy in the building, they often want to see my security badge. They can't believe that an old fart like me actually works there. And but what I do, I tell Googlers that my real worth to the company is that I represent the man in the street who knows nothing. As you can see, you know, I find it even. I am the only guy, they tell me, at TechStop, which is where you go with technical problems, who's taken my computer to them because I couldn't turn it on. But there is, going back to what Ronan was saying, there is something about kind of seeing with the eyes of a child. What do we think? How long is it going to take?
I don't know. It was going to take a lot longer if we didn't stop it, so. So, can we send it on and get it sorted? We're looking at getting the PDF version, so.
Oh, are we?
Feel for.
Yeah, okay. I'll just keep busking. This is hilarious, isn't it? I work for the most impressive tech company in the world. And I allow my computer to do this. How humiliating. Anyway, what I thought I would do today is share with you my journey, as I said, from advertising lovey to digital enthusiast. And what I'm going to do in a minute, and I'll do it at some speed, is talk about a TV commercial I wrote 25 years ago. Yeah, 25 years ago. As I said, I am the oldest guy in the building. And but what would we do today using Google platforms? So taking the same essential brief and the same marketing requirements, what would we do today? And this is how I kind of wormed my way into Google. When they first hired me, when I first had my first interview, I didn't realize it was an interview. It took 40 minutes before the penny dropped, and I said to the guy I was talking to, hang on a minute, are you trying to offer me a job? And he went, yes. I said, but you must be mad. You know, have you seen, you know, that I kind of dribble and I'm not incontinent yet, but I'm told it's going to happen at any moment. And they said, no, because what you bring is this experience of brands and branding. And of course, I head up a team called The Zoo. And we're called The Zoo because Javed Karim, who was one of the three guys who founded YouTube, uploaded the very first video to YouTube, and it was his visit to the zoo. 27 seconds of him standing in front of the elephants, looking rather embarrassed. But the reason we're called the zoo is because YouTube is this brilliant brand-building opportunity. And so I think at the heart of what I was going to talk about in a moment, if everything goes all right, thanks Bill, by the way, is YouTube, and using YouTube in kind of new and innovative ways. What I wanted to do was to, oh my God, we're almost there.
Don't tell them that yet.
Oh, no. Oh, don't tell them that. All right, I'm gonna do something else, though.
Just give it a second.
In the middle of my presentation, I was going to produce these balls. I'm going to
Keep going.
Yeah, I'm going to do something now. When I was the creative director of Ogilvy, which I was for 7 fun-filled years, I used to often go and talk to clients about how advertising worked. So, now, well, I can't throw my ball to you because you're phoning home. Actually, I will. I'll throw that ball. If you throw it back to me, that's great, brilliant. If I throw you a ball, you catch it. And what I used, yeah, thank you very much. And I used to say to clients, this is how advertising works. If I throw you one message, you're going to catch it, you'll understand it. But of course, if I throw you 2, oh, well done, you got both of them. No, it's very good. But actually, if I throw you 3, yeah, you're going to drop one, and sometimes, and pretty often, if we were to keep doing it, you drop all 3. So the point I was trying to make is that one message, you know, people will understand it. If you try and overload any piece of communication with different points, then people just think life's too short. But using that same metaphor of the balls, what I want you to do now is to catch them. Oh, you see, this is the way it works today. I am an advertiser. I'm one of you guys. I'm a brand manager, and I'm chucking out messages to all of you. Now what I want you to do is start throwing them around the room. Okay, just throw your ball that you just got to somebody you know or like. That's good. Over there, throw that ball. There you go. That's good. That's brilliant. So find somebody in the audience you like the look of. There we go. Excellent. Very good. Very good. Very good. All right. Now, the point about advertising today is that's exactly what happens. As a brand manager, gone are the days when I could actually just throw you a message and your consumer would, you hope, catch it and then eventually respond. Because now, when you're putting your messages out into the ether like that, certainly through the digital ecosphere, what's happening is that people are passing your messages on. And that's what we're trying to do, is create shareable content. Wow, I don't believe it. It's almost happening. So the point being is that actually when you put a message out there these days, certainly when you're using YouTube, you're using TrueView, when you're using pre-roll advertising, if you're creating something that's shareable, then that's what happens. Your message starts getting thrown around the room. And then, of course, what happens? Some people catch it and then send it on. Some people drop it and miss it. But what you have to start thinking about now is the fact there isn't just one ball, one message. At any one moment, there are literally, you know, hundreds of little interactions going on. Oh, my God, I don't believe it. What do you think? Are we there? This is outrageous. Oh, my God. Thank you for bearing with me. Well, I told you about the zoo. I head up the zoo. We're a kind of creative think tank, and we exist in order to be able to work with brands and their agencies to tell them about what's happening in the digital space, and more to the point, work with them to be able to have ideas that allow you to make the most of the web. So that's the team I head up. And what I wanted to talk a bit about today was the whole art and science of communications. And so through personal experience, I wanted to talk about the art side, if you like, the right-hand side of the brain first. So I was going to take you back 25 years to when I was a creative director of an agency called Bose Messine Pollitt, sadly now gone. And I was sitting in the boardroom one Sunday trying to pitch for the Milk account. And John Steele, who was the planner with me at the time, said, of course, milk isn't a drink, it's a food. It's interesting. Run that by me again. And he said, well, milk isn't a drink, it's a food. I mean, I don't know if there are any planners in the room, but by the way, for John Steele, that was a seminal moment in his life, because as a result of that, I was able to write very different sort of advertising for milk, because up until then, around the world, it was advertised as a drink, so it was kind of peppy and upbeat and colourful and loud music. But food is about sharing and nurturing, and it's about looking after people. It's about relationships. So I was able to do very different advertising, and I won a couple of awards for it. But John went over to California, where he became the planning director of Goodby Silverstein and was the brains behind the Got Milk campaign that then enabled him to write a book called Truth, Lies and Advertising, which is fabulous, by the way, which then brought him to the attention of my ex-boss, Martin Sorrell, who invited him to become the global planning director for WPP. And not being stupid, John said to Martin, global, does that mean I can live anywhere I want in the globe? And without thinking, Sir Martin said yes. So he now lives in Perth, Western Australia, which is as far as it's possible to get from Farm Street. The point being, to all of you planners, all you need is one idea, one crucial insight, and it can transform not only your world, but it can also transform your brand as well. So 25 years ago, I sat down and I wrote a whole load of ads. And I'm going to show you one of these. Now, if you're English, you'll kind of understand it, the iconography behind it. It refers to a footballer called Ian Rush, who at the time was probably the best footballer in the world. He was yesteryear's equivalent to Gareth Bale, in that he was Welsh, he went and lived abroad, didn't like the food, and came back to Liverpool again. And, but it's also about a football club called Accrington Stanley. Now, if you're English, Accrington Stanley is just intrinsically funny. You know, so I've tried explaining this TV commercial to French people, and it just doesn't work. Nowhere in France is funny. You know, they're just not. Limoges is not funny. It sounds elegant and suave and lovely. Accrington Stanley, on the other hand, just is funny. But here's the commercial. All you need to know is it's two little boys who drink milk after playing football because it's nourishing and good for them.
Got any lemonade? If you want. Milk? Ugh. It's what Ian Rush drinks. Ian Rush? Yeah, and he said if I didn't drink lots of milk, when I grow up, I'm going to be good enough to play for Accrington Stanley. Accrington Stanley? Who are they? Exactly. Now get off. Give me some. Get off.
Anyway, for the last 25 years, every time Accrington Stanley play, all of the rival supporters chant that before every game. Accrington Stanley, who are they? Exactly. Anyway, they've learned to live with it. So, what would we do today? How would we reimagine this? Well, the first thing I'd like to do is to bring back the Milk Cup. And the Milk Cup was played at the beginning of the season between the winners of our Premier League and the winners of the FA Cup. We're going to bring it back because what happened to milk in the UK is in 1993, Margaret Thatcher privatised it. It was a state-run industry. Now it isn't. Now there are individual brands. So we're going to bring back the Milk Cup. And by the way, I'm doing all of this for a brand in the UK called Country Life. It's very well known for butter, but it also sells 1.4 million pints of milk a day. And the Milk Cup is going to be a game played between Accrington Stanley, who we've already established aren't a very good football side, and it's going to be played between boys under the age of 15. And with any luck, because Accrington Stanley are rubbish, the boys are going to win. And that's certainly what we're all hoping for. So that's the core idea. We're going to bring back Ian Rush, the footballer, who is now gloriously the director of schools football at Liverpool Football Club. And what he's going to do is recruit a team to play Accrington Stanley. And he's going to use traditional media. There he is talking off the pack itself. Here are some banner ads on Top Gear. I should probably change this given Jeremy Clarkson's recent farrago. But hey-ho. And the reason it's Top Gear is because we're reaching out to dads. And what we want dads to do here is to film video of their kids demonstrating their skills and upload these to our hub website. And so that's what we're inviting them to do. Give your son the opportunity to be in this team to play against Accrington Stanley and to become a famous footballer. So there's a role for traditional advertising here. So this is, we'd run this as preview, and, but maybe even as traditional TV advertising on television. It's pretty much the same script you saw. Ian Rush says, if I don't drink enough milk, I won't be good enough to play in his team against Accrington Stanley. And the joke is, Ian Rush, who's he? Because my bet is, how many of you have heard of Ian Rush? Oh, it's not bad, about 30%, 35%. Yeah, so there's the joke, Ian Rush, who's he? So what we're doing now is we're inviting dads to upload these videos to what we call our hub. So Hero, Hub and Help is something you're going to be hearing a lot more about over the next couple of days. And it's a fantastic construct invented by my team in the zoo to explain how you can make the most of YouTube. So at our hub, we've got all of these videos of kids being uploaded by their dads demonstrating their skills. And Ian can go and look at these videos, and he can then select who he wants to send off to boot camps. Now here, if you're a marketer, this is where it begins to get interesting, or it begins to get terrifying, because you have no idea what's going to happen next. You have no idea if dads are going to do this, if they're going to upload videos, or not. You certainly have no idea of the numbers. I mean, this is one of the really, really scary things. You're not in control any longer. On the other hand, if you learn to go with the flow, it can be fantastically exciting. And things like this will happen. Guys, can you turn the vol down a bit, because it's a bit loud on the next one? You may get something like this. So this is a little boy called Hassan Afia, and here he is demonstrating his skills. And now what happens is a piece of hub content has suddenly become hero content. Because, I mean, how many views do you think this has had? Anyone? You twitched, so that'll do it. How many views do you think it? 1 million, very good. Do I have any advance on million? I hear 1 million from the guy who twitched in the middle. Sir in the blue suit, do I have an advance on 1 million? Do I hear 2 million? Do I hear 2? Do I have 3 from the crowd? Is there 4? I'm looking for 5. Actually, I'm looking for 10. Do I have 10 million from anyone? Yes, I have 10 million. Thank you, sir. Do I have 20 million? Yes, I saw that, 20 million. Do I have 30 million? I have 30 million from the brave lady there with the pencil. Do I have 40 million? 50. Ah, well, you've gone too far. You just lost it. 40 million. Isn't that amazing? So now what you've got is a piece of content that's gone wild. And as a marketer, what you have to do is you have to start tracking this. And so in the zoo, what we've helped clients do, certainly with Dove Sketches, was set up a war room in order to be able to plan how you get behind it, how you encourage videos like this to go viral, even though I hate it. So maybe there's a little Lionel Messi among them, and maybe you get enormous traction at your hub. But either way, oh, bloody hell. I am definitely jinxed, aren't I, today? So from this, he creates a whole series of boot camps. And so maybe 180 boys, 60 in each, go to boot camps, one in the north, one in the Midlands, one in the south. And now what we're doing is we're changing the nature of content, because the boys now meet their coaches, Jamie Carragher and Steven Gerrard. And these are top footballers. Now what we're doing is we're creating content. What we were doing before was curating content created by our core customers. Now we're creating content, and these are little how-to videos. And you have to bear in mind that over 50% of all YouTube videos are how-to videos. You know, so how to cross the ball like Steven Gerrard. We'll get Steven Gerrard to show you how to do that. And so what we've got now are these fantastic videos. And where we were thinking that with the original ones, when you upload a video of your little boy demonstrating his fabulous skills, maybe you're getting 1,500 views because you're using your social media, you're reaching out to everyone you know. You got to come and watch Sebastian play. Now we're looking for kind of between 5,000 and 10,000 views for each because this is a much more general interest. We're creating content. And then content creators. Now, content creators are really, really fascinating because what they do is they bring audiences with them. So what they're doing is popularizing your message, A, because they're hosting it on their sites, but secondly, what they're doing is migrating their viewers across to your channel too. So this is a guy called STR Skills School. He's got 1 million subscribers, and here he is. That's enough of him. But he's got 1 million subscribers, and by and large, they tend to be young, football-orientated kids. So that's great because we're getting them excited too. Now, out of all of this, we get our team selected by Ian Rush. And now the nature of the marketing challenge changes. Originally, it was just to recruit boys and to get all of this video uploaded to our website. Because here we have the hero content. We've got our little piece of video of the young Messi that's gone ballistic. We've got lots of stuff at the hub, but also help videos. So help videos are, or hygiene as we used to call it, but help videos are when people need to know about how milk is produced. So for example, in the UK, I'm told in the city of Birmingham, 56% of children don't know milk comes from cows. So let's tell them. They'll probably be horrified, by the way, but let's tell them. And so at our help resource now, we're creating videos that explain that milk genuinely is the fastest acting sports recovery drink that there is. It outperforms all of those isotonic drinks enormously. And not only that, we're talking about milk production, how it's produced. And so these videos won't get very many views, but every one of the views they do get will be because somebody wanted to see it. But now the marketing challenge changes. What we want to do is we want to get people to watch the game. You know, we want to get them to watch the game live, not necessarily up at Accrington Stanley, but on YouTube. And so now what we do is we create a piece of content that we hope will kind of reach out to 500,000, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, and so as a copywriter, I'd be saying it's half-time between Liverpool and Crystal Palace, and 13 boys run onto the pitch, all wearing a uniform. And their skills are so phenomenal that all the stewards try to collar them, try to catch them, but they just can't, as these boys kick a football around, knock it into the goal, and then disappear. So it's a cross between flash mobbing and some of those Nike ads. This is the only thing I could find on YouTube. I mean, honestly, what are these guys doing? They're given nice orange jumpers in order to be able to stop people running onto the pitch. But anyway, that's what they're doing in my version. But there's also, oh, blimey, there's also orchestration. So, I mean, one of the fascinating things about working at Google is that lots of young Googlers say to me, TV is dead. It's not. It really isn't. You know, or print is dead. No, it isn't. It isn't. But what we need to do now is to think about how we orchestrate all of our media. So here's a piece of direct mail that's aimed at journalists because we want them to cover the football match live. But at the same time, we're going to run print advertising as well to get people to watch it on YouTube. And here's the amazing thing, because, you know, on YouTube, you know, when Samsung launched their Gear watch, 2 million people watched all 22 hours of it live. I mean, 2 million people watched two guys impersonating Steve Jobs badly for 2 hours. We must be able to get 2 million people to watch this interesting football match. So anyway, I'm looking at all of that. I haven't been at Google very long, and I've taken my 40-second TV commercial, and now suddenly we're talking about curated as well as created content, but it's all about real people, and it's all around football, and I'm thinking, God, isn't that interesting? You know, because then and now, and here are three words you're going to hear a bit more about as well, which is signaling, impact, and scale. And of course, signaling is about how a brand can get people's attention. You know, if we go back to when I was a copywriter in an ad agency and creative director of Ogilvy, it's all about, hello, hello, drink my milk, it is really good stuff. And I'm really hoping that, first of all, you hear my message, but then secondly, that actually it's kind of engaging enough for you to remember it the following day when you're shopping. Now, especially when you take programmatic into account, what I'm able to say to people is, hey, Richard, you've got a teenage boy. Are you interested in this? I think you could be. So suddenly it's become conversational. Through digital platforms, what I'm able to do is talk to people on a really personal level and get them involved rather than shouting at them. I think the second big thing, if we're talking about impact, is if I go back to the days when I was writing TV commercials, as a marketer, it's a silver bullet. If you're Procter & Gamble, it's a silver bullet that you're firing again and again and again until your audience goes, oh, submit. You know. But actually today, it's not so much buckshot because you don't have the gun. What you're looking for is your brand ambassadors, your brand fans to share your message for you. But it has become massively diversified like that. And if I go back 25 years, I look at the English TV market, and it was broken down into the 12 major TV stations. That's what we meant by a network. Today, every single one of you is a network, joined to a network, joined to a network. And how are we able to actually use those networks in order to be able to reach people? And that's how we're able to do it, by creating content, not advertisement, but content. And of course, for me as a creative person, what's so fantastically exciting about this is that we can change lives. You know, if I go back 25 years, I changed one life. That little boy, we found him in a playground in Liverpool, and he really enjoyed the experience so much he became an actor. So he's currently, he's currently appearing in a soap in the UK called EastEnders. Whereas today, just think, all of those boys who came to those academies, we changed their lives. And more to the point, who knows what we might have started? You know, maybe some of their dads would have got together on Facebook to get together and started a mini league. Maybe they create a referees league. Maybe all kinds of things. Now, the fascinating thing about all of this is that this is about good. Here is a brand really at a time when we're worried about obesity and we're worried about the fizzy drinks our kids are drinking. We're really worried that actually green areas for them to play in have been taken away. This is an opportunity for a brand actually through what it does to communicate. And for me, that's really, really fantastic. So the next thing that happens, though, is I'm sitting there thinking this is fascinating. And here's one of the key things I hope you pick up over the next kind of day and a bit, is one of my planners came to me and she said, I've been looking at the data. Oh, yeah, data schmata. She said, no, it's really interesting. She said, you know, interest in football is declining. I said, okay, well, what is increasing? And she said, well, cycling and swimming. Now, in the UK, that makes sense because we had success in swimming at the Olympics and our cyclists seem to pick up gold every time. And then she blew me away. She said, what do you think the trending sport is? Anyone? Any thoughts? Dance. Bang. Now that kind of makes sense because this is a cross between, you know, athletics, gymnastics, and boy, do you have to be fit for this. And so looking at what I was doing before, here on YouTube we have Jasmine Meakin. She just teaches very, very simple dance steps. And so this is the least viewed of her videos with 1.5 million views. So there is real interest in all of this. So taking my original idea, then what we do is we try and make it come to life now in Hangouts. We get dance troupes of boys and girls. Spot the obvious mistake in Route 1. There goes girls, because girls need to drink milk to grow up healthy and strong. They do. So we're going to get them, you can't take the dreamer out of the copywriter, by the way. We're going to get Beyonce and the girls to come and do a whole series of dance routines for us. And from those, you can mash up your own routine, then you video it, you upload it, and we hope everything is marvelous. And then we create a fabulous piece of hero content like this. Way, what a girl. Look at those heels. Of course, what's really interesting about this, if we go back to when I was the creative director of an ad agency, I'd be saying, what have you done? Did you see where the camera started off? There's someone in the way. And why is there only one camera on this? God, we've got Beyonce for 10 minutes. There should be at least 4 cameras on. The lighting is rubbish. And why have you put all of those fat people in there? And of course, now we have a conversation about authenticity and about making sure that the experiences that we create are about real people, that we can empathize with them. So, I mean, what Confucius said all of those years ago, 1,000 years ago, was, of course, tell me and I will forget. Show me and I may remember, but involve me and I will understand. And what the digital revolution is all about is the opportunity to involve people enormously. Anyway, I was going to talk about the science bit, but I think you've already seen a demonstration of how I'm completely unqualified to talk about that side of things. So as a result of my cock-up at the beginning, I think I'm going to have to leave it there. But thank you very much. And if you've got any questions, catch up with me in the break. Okay.